Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm a 30-year-old business professional with a busy schedule and high blood pressure. The DASH diet is a research-backed diet that can help lower blood pressure. Join me over the next few weeks as I follow the DASH diet to combat my stage 1 hypertension. Along the way, I'll be sharing information about the DASH diet, like what it is, recipe ideas, and more. Comment, like, and subscribe.
Hey everyone, happy Valentine's Day if you're watching this on the day when it's releasing. This week we're talking about something that's really personal to me, and that's high blood pressure. High blood pressure runs in my family, and as a business professional in my 30s, managing it has become a really important part of my daily life. If you're like me and you're juggling work, responsibilities, your personal well-being, this video might hit home for you too. So hypertension, or high blood pressure, is often called the silent killer. It is one of the most common diagnoses worldwide, and it can often have no symptoms. But the risks of high blood pressure are very real. There's heart disease, stroke, kidney problems. It can even exacerbate your risk of diabetes and more. And in my case, because it's hereditary, I knew that I had to start paying attention early on. I was diagnosed with stage 1 hypertension during this extremely emotional time in my life. I just started a new job and my father had just passed away. And so because of the hereditary factor, my doctor was concerned, but she also wanted to try to rule out these other factors like stress and grief as possible contributors to what she was seeing in my blood pressure readings. Now it's 4 years later, and I have largely managed my grief, and I'm no longer new in the job, so I'm still getting readings consistent with stage 1 hypertension. So what do we do about it from here? Now we know I've got stage 1 hypertension, definitely. And here's what I've learned on my journey so far. Diet really matters. I am a salt fiend. I love salt. Like, I can eat a whole bag of potato chips, but that's really high sodium, and sodium plays a major role in blood pressure. So now I try to focus on whole foods, lean proteins, tons of veggies. If I'm buying something like hot sauce or even chips, which I don't really buy very much anymore, I'm reading the labels to make sure that I'm not picking something that's super high sodium. And the DASH diet, Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension, is a great guide. It focuses on low salt and it focuses on whole foods. Exercise is really key as well. Even with a packed schedule, I try to make time for movement. I do Pilates twice a week, and I try to squeeze in walks whenever I can. I get an hour for lunch, so I try to take half hour to eat, half hour to walk. The American Heart Association recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise every week, and honestly, I feel the difference between when I stay active and when I don't, especially in my stress levels. Exercise can play a really important role in helping to lower stress. Number 3 is stress management. Stress and blood pressure are like toxic besties, unfortunately. And between deadlines, meetings, life, it is all a lot. But deep breathing, mindfulness, and just stepping away for a few minutes can help you stay balanced. I recently started doing a brain dump every night right before bed. I get a lot of anxiety right around bedtime usually, and that's when my thoughts sort of fire up and I get a lot of stress. So doing a brain dump in my journal, just write it all out, that's been really helpful to help me manage that nighttime stress. Regular checkups. Check in with your doctor, especially if you already know you have hypertension. And you can check your blood pressure at home too. I keep track of my numbers with my home blood pressure monitor, and then if I'm ever really concerned, like if I'm seeing really high numbers, I will call and make an appointment, because that's a problem. The goal is to stay usually below 120/80, but everyone's target might be a little different. There are some links to more blood pressure guides and resources in the description box below this video, so be sure to check those out. And check with your healthcare provider if you're concerned about your blood pressure. Hydration and sleep are another really important part of helping to manage your blood pressure. They play bigger roles than we think. Drinking enough water helps regulate your blood pressure, and getting at least 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep really helps manage stress. And we just talked about how stress is such an important factor in blood pressure too. It's amazing what a difference a well-rested body makes. Number 6 is your caffeine intake. Fun fact, I used to work at Starbucks, and one of the perks of working at Starbucks is that you, at least when I was there, I used to get free drinks. The baristas used to be able to get a certain number of free drinks in a day. And I hit a point with my caffeine intake where I was drinking about a dozen shots of espresso most days. That's a lot of caffeine. Now, obviously, most people aren't going to be at that extreme, but if you're drinking energy drinks, even some of the health energy drinks, or anything that has a high caffeine level, you want to be mindful about how often you're choosing that and the impact it might be having on your blood pressure. Caffeine can cause high levels of blood pressure. And now for me, like, I've cut it way back. I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and sometimes I'll make a matcha if I need a little extra energy boost, but usually I choose water instead. I like to have a little bit of electrolytes. I throw some lime or some lemon in the water. Definitely be mindful of any energy drinks or higher caffeine content products like that. And caffeine can impact your sleep too, which we just discussed how important that is. Managing high blood pressure is not about perfection. It's about making small, consistent changes that add up over time. And trust me, it's really worth it. Like, I had a point where I was feeling dizzy because of how high my blood pressure was, like walking up and down stairs. If you have a family history of hypertension, or you just want to take better care of yourself, start today with one small step. Your future self will thank you. Let's keep the conversation going. Share your tips, experiences, or if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. And stay healthy, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks.
Please keep in mind, I am not a medical professional, and this series is not medical advice. Always consult a healthcare professional before implementing a dietary change.